Check this out, it's DJ Khaled.
This is Post Malone. Yes, that little Chico Pitbull.
You're in the mix with
It's the K.L.P. Aftermath.
Right here, so keep it locked.
It's the K.L.P. Aftermath.
You're locked into the man. Check this out.
Here we go.
It's time. You're live and in the mix with ATL Zone.
K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Hi, this is Rihanna.
Hey, what's up? This is Ludacris.
What's up, y'all? This is Nicki Minaj.
You're rocking with the best. It's the #1 station blazing the airwaves.
Right here, so keep it locked.
What's up, y'all? This is Beyonce, and you listening to my station.
Powered by the Core 94.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the ATL. This is, of course, the K.L.P. Aftermath with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Welcome back to another exciting podcast episode, back to Atlanta from NYC. And T, we've got Tyrus in the building today. Welcome back, y'all. I missed you guys. I'll be honest. I missed you guys. I missed coming on live radio and to give you guys a great show and to give you guys content back on our YouTube, but also on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and now iHeartRadio. Of course, we're back on iHeartRadio with our radio stations for sure. We've been doing a lot of great things, y'all. You guys know, hence by the name of the title, we have so much that we need to talk about here on the podcast show today. Welcome on back to the studio. We got a new backdrop for you guys, and I'm ready. I'm excited to show you guys and tell you guys what we've been doing. T, you guys don't know, Tyrus Lester, he's our producer for our radio show, making sure that we sound excellent on the podcast episode. And we're not going to waste no time. This show might be an hour, y'all. So prepare. If you got your popcorn, you got your candy. I've got my lemonade because I went to Maggiano's today. The hit Maggiano's over there at Perimeter Mall, inside not inside of Perimeter Mall, but inside the state of Georgia. And I wanted to tell you guys about my experience in New York. New York has been fantastic. And I'm going to tell you guys the whole trip in this podcast. So again, grab your popcorn because this show might be long. This might be a long one because there's so much that we were able to get accomplished in New York City. And I wanted to expand and explore and tell you guys about the episode, about the trip, about a whole lot. And we're looking good too on the camera. You guys know we do a YouTube version of the podcast, the radio show, live on Swanky 93.3, the radio station, and Emory 94.6. I'm so excited for this. I've been giddy about this show all day because I told my producers, like, we're going to do this kind of early afternoon because it's a beautiful Monday. We are not in the Emory offices. We go to the Emory offices tomorrow, but since it's early today, we want to give you guys longer shows on Mondays because it is a day where we're in the K.L.P. Entertainment Studios. We're not here at the actual Emory office studio. Very, very excited for that. So let's get on to it. We're not going to waste no time at all talking about this trip because I wanted to tell you guys all the epicness that happened on the radio and what happened on this trip. There's so much that happened to you, of course. So it was a 4:30 on a Friday. It was early, y'all. Our flight was at 7:45 in the morning, and it was an early flight. 7:45. That's an early flight to get on a flight. TSA had to go through TSA and baggage check. Of course, we had a lot of great things with that. Shout out to my friend Muncie. She did take us to the airport bright and early, and then we arrived inside the airport. We went through baggage check, and we only paid 40 pounds worth of luggage. So you can have 40 pounds to put underneath the plane as a carry-on, and then you can have a personal item. So of course, my personal item, and this is a little tidbit for a lot of people who probably may be experts at traveling. Now I can come out and say on the show here, I'm not an expert at traveling. I don't travel as much as I'd like to, but this was I want to say my fourth time getting back on a plane and going somewhere out of the state. And, it was a very, very early flight, right, T? And T knows because he was there at the airport. He had to get his stuff checked and TSA and all that. Producers had to get checked on that. And then our friends had to get checked with TSA and baggage claim. Turns out that I had 42 pounds worth of luggage, and you'd be surprised, 42 pounds. And at the check-in, because we had to board our plane, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, if I pay extra to get these, how much would it be? The lady quoted me $50 for extra spaces. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to take something out because that's a lot of money just to be dumping, $50 worth of just over 2 pounds with 40 pounds of weight limit that you can have. So I ended up, of course, taking something out. And believe it or not, I took out two pairs of shoes. And believe it or not, those 2 pairs of shoes were 2 pounds because it was right under the 40 mark after I took those 2 shoes out. So I took the 2 shoes out, right, T? And it was, it was crazy how that happened, that shoes weigh that much, but it really does. Them scales, they really do work. So going through baggage claim, going to our terminal, going through TSA has been a breeze. It was a long line. It was a lot of tired folks. You could tell there was a lot of tired folks, T. A lot of people were tired because they're getting ready for this early morning flight. And of course, long and behold, we boarded the plane. I was super excited, ready to go. We said a prayer before we got on the plane because, we guys know about planes. As of late, the Boeing company in particular, they've been going really, really down because they haven't been building their planes correctly. And, there's a lot of plane crashes that's happening around the world right now. So, it's just one of those things. It's a sad occasion, but it does happen. So, of course, we ended up going through some things and going through, of course, TSA, going through a lot of things here for the whole plane ride back there to New York. Of course, we boarded the plane, we took off, and it's fantastic. It was a fantastic time because, flying a plane is really fun, y'all. And I say to a lot of people, if you are kind of new to the plane riding experience, I really recommend you guys going out there and flying a plane, whether if you're going to either New York, you're going to Texas, you're going to California, or even if you're just going to Florida, ride the plane. It's really fun. I enjoy it. It's quiet. And we got to New York within an hour and a half. Now the plane ride was expected to have 2 hours and 15 minutes is what they quoted on the site, but an hour and 30 minutes we were there in New York. We flew into LaGuardia. LaGuardia is located in the Queens area. So of course, my friend Harmony, he is from the Queens area. So he's prone to flying. He knows about New York. He knows the ins and outs of New York. But he was, fortunately, he was able to come on the trip with us and to really have a great time and to really enjoy the show, enjoy the flight, enjoy the trip. So of course, we ended up going to Queens and, his father came and picked us up. Congratulations and thank you to Mr. Chance. If you're somehow listening to the podcast, because you helped us out in a big way, picking us up, taking us to our hotel, riding through the streets of Queens. Let me tell y'all, Queens is something else in a good way. It's something else. It's something that us Jordans are not prone to, y'all. Queens is such a different world. It's so unique. It's so different. The houses market is probably high because those houses look nice, very, very nice, but so different. They look, when we were driving, right, T? Because T can contest to this, y'all. T knows about this. When we were driving in the streets of Queens, every house did not look the same. Because if you guys, we were here in Atlanta, right? We're knowing that some neighborhoods, some houses look the same. Maybe they might be mirrored, but some houses look the exact identical. These houses in Queens, each house had their own character to the house. Each house had their own different pattern. Each house had their own different color coding. Each house had their own different flooring. Each house was so unique and different. And that's one thing I love about the Queens area, is because every house was different. There was no house that looked like another house around that same block. They had their own different color palettes, their own different foundation, their own different floors. They had all different things when it comes to these houses in Queens. And that's what really drew my attention, is because you can tell that there's history in Queens. There's a complete difference in Queens. So as we're rolling through Queens, as I'm really getting excited, we're rolling into the big city of New York City. And let me tell you, by God, y'all, by God, these cities, these skyscrapers of the city of New York, it has nothing on us here in Atlanta. I'm sorry, New York has swallowed Atlanta. If you compare this downtown Atlanta area to New York City, 1/5 of New York City, maybe 1/6 of New York City, that's the portion, the same size as Atlanta. That's how big this city was. And you guys know, you make it be, and I said this in the podcast when we were live in New York. I said that a lot of people say that New York looks bigger on TV, right, T? It looks bigger in the movies, the motion pictures. But as we come back, going to New York last week, I would say that New York looks even bigger than the ones that you see in the cinematic universe, being movies and films and animations and all these different things. New York City was huge. It's very, very huge, as one of our posters fell here in the studio. Live TV, live show, y'all. This city was just so unique in its own way because it swallowed so much. It really got me going. It really has gotten me going because I enjoyed every minute of it as we're stepping into the city of New York. Of course, we're crossing the bridge to get to downtown, and I was just blown away. So we were kind of tired. You know, it was I want to say, yeah, it was Saturday. You know, this was last week. This was Saturday when we got to New York, and we were pretty tired because we had an early morning flight, and we got there with ease, y'all. Like, we got there in an hour 30 minutes, so that's pretty good for a flight time. We were pretty tired, so we're checking into the hotel room. We were a little bit early, so we had to wait for our rooms to be ready. So we checked our bags in and we explored the whole midst of city. Of course, we had to go eat first. So once we checked in, shout out to Dallas Barbecue in New York City, Times Square, Broadway area. If you guys are from New York and you want some good barbecue and you're in downtown, Dallas Barbecue on the intersection of Times Square and Broadway, where the big AMC movie theater is at, that is a place to go. It's really scrumptious, great chicken wings, great barbecue, great fries, and great drinks. So you don't sleep on Dallas Barbecue because, our big Dallas Barbecue, because it is really, really good in there. Went in there, ate some good barbecue, and then we walked the streets of Times Square just a little bit to get our little feet wet here in the New York City area. And let me tell y'all, this city, Times Square, during the day was spectacular. People are roaming through, people are zooming through, people are zipping and zapping in through the city. And then when we checked into our hotel room, we went back out and went to Times Square at night. And let me tell y'all, Times Square at night, it's a spectacle. It is a truly spectacle, is what I got to say. It's a truly spectacle going through the city of Times Square at night. After that next day, I finally went to the Nintendo store. You guys can see it on our Instagram. Nintendo store. I see a lot of YouTubers vlog about the Nintendo store, but finally I saw it in person. I saw the stuff they were selling. Some of the stuff that they were selling were a little bit high end. You know, you're looking at $50 up to $100 in some of their product. It's New York. It's Nintendo in New York. You know, people are there for spring break. People got some money. Some people probably got their tax money. So I understand the hustle and bustle of the stores and how expensive some things are in New York, because it is a hustle and bustle type of city. So of course, spectacle in Nintendo store, very, very good. We got some good shots there. We went to, of course, the Apple store was one store that we went to during our trip. Apple store was huge. It really got me motivated because we did film in there. This was the first time. This was the Apple store where it had like the glass building, and then you go downstairs and the store is actually underground. Huge. Fantastically huge. Of course, you saw all kinds of crazy cool Apple products, and I wanted to go in there in particular because I really wanted to really physically see the new iPhone 13s. If you guys don't know, I did talk about this last week, and I talked about it on the show. I am planning to upgrade my phone to the brand new iPhone 13, so stay tuned because there will be an unboxing video on our channel. So if you guys are interested in that, comment below, let me know, because we're going to be doing an unboxing video for YouTube, Dailymotion, and Twitch. A little shout out to Twitch real quick, guys. Twitch, we're bringing back Twitch. Of course, if you guys don't know, K.L.P Entertainment Network is a Twitch exclusive streaming services that we will be having with our content, being the show here today. K.L.P Aftermath will be premiering on Twitch alongside with Spotify video and Spotify in general. And of course, we have so many shows coming out. Of course, we got this new show, The Hitman. You guys are going to see a little snippet this week. Of course, the first episode will be released this Friday. The Hitman, that is our spinoff show using our engine. That's also going to be on Twitch as well. So, of course, it's twitch.com/KLP Entertainment Network, all one word. Type it in, follow us there on Twitch, because we're going to be doing some great content for Twitch, trying to bring back the Twitch style of things. Because let me tell you, a lot of people do things on Twitch right now that they really are getting creative. T knows it, guys. T is a huge Twitch guy. T, you know what we've been seeing on Twitch as of late. People are getting creative with these streaming services. So we're going to dabble on into that too. So the iPhone 13 unboxing video will be available for the Twitch services, of course. So I love podcasting, but I got to make sure I have something to drink at the end of it, y'all. So, of course, we did a lot of things in New York, some things that I cannot disclose here on the podcast because it was kind of an adult time for some of those places that we've been through. But I can say we went to the Museum of Sex. And let me tell y'all, I know, T, that we are a PG show because we're streaming it on Emory 94.6. But by God, the museum, see, I'm speechless, T. I can't even get it out. The Museum of Sex museum was very fantastic because I got educated. Let's just keep it at that. I got educated about human history and human desires of sex. Now, you guys know, a lot of Emory students know about, I mean, we're all pretty old enough to know about how to practice safe sex and how sex is formed, and we all know about it. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it so much for my fan base because we're all adults. I looked at our range group, and, you know, a lot of our range group, they listen to us. The age range is between 20 and 28. So we're all pretty grown. We know what sex is, right? If you guys ever go to New York, go to the Museum of Sex because you really learn a whole lot of things. Let me tell you, there's some things in that museum that I never knew existed, but it does exist at the Museum of Sex. And they have, you know, how every museum, they have a description of what it is, and, you know, a whole bunch of historical facts about it. T, you know what I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of descriptions about what the item is and how you use it in the form of sex. And I enjoy reading the descriptions because, not saying that it's giving me some ideas here, but, you know, I really understand because some things I just didn't know about until I'm actually, you know, reading the description. Like, oh, so that's what that is. Oh, that's how you use that. Oh, okay. I've seen this somewhere. Oh, that's how you use that. So I learned some things at the Museum of Sex. So again, that's one place I recommend people go if you're visiting New York City for sure. MoMA is another museum we went to. Of course, you guys don't know the Modern Arts Museum. Of course, the Museum of Modern Arts is a museum that studies solely modern art. And let me tell y'all, that museum was spectacular. I just got to say it was very spectacular simply because it's modern art. You guys know, as a photographer, director, and an artist myself, I appreciate artists to come out and go to these museums and to really understand it. Let me tell y'all, MoMA, the Museum of Modern Arts, that's a fancy, high-class museum. You can't just come in the museum looking like any kind of thing. You got to get dressed up for that kind of thing. So, which we did. If you guys don't know, you guys can follow me on my Instagram, Kennedy Lucas K.L.P. The Steve Jobs look was part of, we were in MoMA, and me with the code and the photography with my camera, we were at MoMA doing that thing. So you really have to look at, because there's a lot of students, New York students, there's a lot of young adults who are probably also visiting New York City, filming in New York City, and everyone looked good. Everyone either had suits on, a lot of people had some fancy clothes on. So I had to dress the part. I have to look the part when it comes to going to this kind of stuff. The tickets are $14, and I was able to take advantage of that $14 because adults, they cost $25 to get into MoMA. But if you are a student, and this is the thing here, I love working for an institution, because when you work for an institution, you have an ID card from the institution. So I went up to the counter, and true story, T knows about it. I went up to the counter and said, hey, I'm a student at Emory University. Here's my ID card. Because you guys know we work for Emory and we have our own ID card. And we say, hey, when we go to things that offer student discounts, we say, hey, we're students at Emory University in Atlanta. Here's my ID. Now I want the student discount. So I love working for an institution simply because I can take advantage of that, and I can say, hey, I'm a student, even though we're employees technically with Emory. We can say that we're students so that we get that price discount. $14 for MoMA is not that bad. So I enjoyed MoMA. Of course, you guys are going to see it in the documentary. Yes, we are making a documentary about this, and I probably talked about it a lot, but of course, Street Style documentary we've started post-production, so we're putting things together, and it will be out soon. And also, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm happy to announce this on the radio show here today, I will be writing a book. about my New York experience. If you guys look forward to that, I'm actually writing it right now as we speak. Well, not right now as we speak because we're on the microphone, but this whole, when we've been back and we started writing, I have started writing a book, about my New York experience. I'm ecstatic for it. I'm ready to write it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the style of it. I hope that you guys enjoy the book as I write it, and you guys really I can really show you and share my experience with you guys to that effect of writing the book. So of course we did the tram station, of course, flying through New York City all the way to Roosevelt Island. Let me tell you, Roosevelt Island, I can tell there's a lot of professors, a lot of people, a lot of young adults who work in the city go to Roosevelt Island where their apartment is at. A lot of people are probably working on something, coming home. So that was a fun experience, for sure, to say the least. We went out, we ate so much, y'all. And I tell you guys, because let me tell you, the other day's workout, and T knows about it because I got on the phone with T after my workout to talk about the show and, when we're coming back and stuff. Let me tell you, this workout was so hard coming back to Crunch Fitness after my big trip to New York, because it's been so hard. It's been a very, very hard workout, because when you eat a lot from a trip, when you really enjoy a trip and you eat a lot from a trip, that's it. That's it. You eat and then that's it. And then when you come back to a routine workout, it is the hardest thing you can do, because, you're full, you're feeling kind of fat because of this big trip that you've been on. And it was fantastic. To eat was fantastic, but to come back to the gym has not been so fantastic, because, this workout hurt. And T, what I'm talking about. This workout hurt a lot. So I say that to say, New York City was a trip that I can cross off my bucket list, because on my bucket list, it always been a dream of mine to go to New York City, right, T? But now to say that I've been to New York City, I've been to Queens, we've been to Harlem. Let me tell you, Harlem has some history there. Harlem is that city where you're in the city, but there's different styles of culture. There's a little bit of different cultural outputs out to it. Went to a friend of mine's apartment. So got to saw a New York apartment for the first time. And let me tell you, it's different. Apartments are different in New York than they are here in Atlanta. So I get it. I understand the difference of that is crazy. It's phenomenal. It was just one of those things that this is a trip that you absolutely do want to take, for sure, because it is one of the trips that it really blows your mind. Seeing Times Square was fantastic. Again, we did some more things that I can't disclose here on the show, but those times were fantastic as well. Some of the New York markets, street markets, let me tell you, everybody, and this is a true story, in New York, everybody is an entrepreneur, because somebody's selling something out on the streets, whether it's a store, whether it's a venue, whether it's a food truck, even people with purses, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Saint Laurent, they're selling these different items right there on the strip, right there on the street. You got to be careful about those people that are selling, the off-market type of bags like Gucci, Prada, that's out there. So you got to be careful, because some of that stuff could be fake. Some of those things could be forged to where it looks like a Louis Vuitton, but it's not authentic Louis Vuitton. So I say to a lot of people, don't buy into the pressure. If you see somebody selling something that looks good, be careful, because a lot of people can forge things to make their money, right? So I get it, it's a business. So I say be careful where you try to buy your product from. I didn't go to New York just to buy things. I went there to film, and we were technically there on vacation / business. We were filming a movie. I'm writing a book. We podcast. It was a business venture for me going to New York this time around. But if you're looking for a good place to shop, go to a legit authorized store. I did see this huge Louis Vuitton store in New York. I did see this huge Tiffany & Co. Company out there on the big buildings. They have a whole big store, and I was very excited to see Tiffany & Co. because if you guys know, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're on the commercials as of today. So it's very cool because you see the history, and I think they had a poster of Jay-Z on the building. So it was pretty cool for that, for sure. Rockefeller Plaza was fantastic. The history there for sure. We did go to the Grand Central Terminal. One of those things that really it was huge because you see these things in the movies, like you see the Grand Central station and the Grand Central terminal, and then like the big open space to get on the train. You see the big bald clock that's in the middle. You see these things in movies and shows, and you're like, man, I'm always wanting to go there to New York. But now that you finally get to see it in person, it's fantastic. It blows your mind because you're physically here, and you say, this is where they filmed this movie, this is where they filmed that show. So I love it. I really do love it. First time on the train, the electric train station. Very, very interesting. It was very interesting. I would say to a lot of people, make sure you continue to wear your mask because there's a lot of people that were sick. Some guy came into the train station and he was singing. He bust out a song. You guys are going to see that in the documentary, but he bust out a song, right? And he was pretty good. He was singing a classic song. He got on the train station with his boombox and his mic. And my brother's like, oh, he's about to start singing. Watch, he's about to start singing. So I'm looking at him. And I'm like, yeah, he's about to start singing, y'all. So he set it up. He's like, hey guys, I forgot his name, but he's like, hey guys, my name is such and such. I'm here to share some light onto the energy here. I'm gonna sing for you guys out here as we wait for our next destination. And I think we were going back to Queens that day. We were going to Queens that day, so we had to ride the train back. So very, very fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I did have a superstar moment. Shout out to the Breakfast Club FM Power 105.1 with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. I doubt that they're listening to the show, but I have to talk about it because we're going to take a commercial break because we got to talk about the Oscars and we got to talk about all that on today's show. But we're rolling up. I forget what street it was. Our friend Harmony, who was on the trip with us, had to stop by a bank. And there were also 3 FBI Escalades and 4 FBI agents. So I think there was a politician that was having dinner or lunch. It might have been the mayor of New York, because I think the mayor of New York had it like that, or maybe the governor of New York was in town eating some lunch. So I'm walking around and there was these 2 guys, right? And I'm looking at them and they're looking out somewhere. I'm like, and they're running to the street. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Because these guys are running into the street. I'm scared. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm looking around like, what? So I'm looking at the guys running into the street. They go to it was a beautiful white Jeep and it had some good rims on it. These guys taking a picture. I'm like, who's in there? So popped the head. It was DJ Envy. And I'm like, whoa, I know exactly who that is, T. I know exactly. We talk about them every day on our show. That's DJ Envy for the Breakfast Club. So it looked like. So the guys come out. They're done taking the pictures. I go to one of the gentlemen. I said, hey, is that DJ Envy in that Jeep right now? And the guy says, yes, that's DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club. He's in the Jeep. He's probably just leaving the studio. And he was at a stop sign. So I was like, okay, here's my chance. Let me see if I can get a picture. So I'm not running, sprinting to his truck, right? I'm walking kind of fast because he's at a light. That light can turn green. He's gone. But I'm walking kind of fast, trying to catch up with him. And here's a clickbait for you guys. If you see a celebrity, play it cool. Like, you don't want to be overly aggressive. Because when you're overly aggressive into trying to take a picture with the celebrity gets freaked out and, bad things can happen. So I'm casually coming up. DJ Envy rolls down his window. And I'm looking at his face like, yep, that's DJ Envy. Like, I was starstruck because I listen to the Breakfast Club every day. We've referenced the Breakfast Club every day on our show on K.L.P. Aftermath Season 2. So I know this guy. I know he's a cool guy. I'm studying MC. I'm studying radio show hosting from DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God and Angela Yee. So I said to DJ Envy, I said, hey, I'm a big fan of your Breakfast Club. I like the donkey of the day. Like, you're awesome. Can I get a quick selfie? He said, yeah, man, come on. I'm like, yes. So I'm taking a picture, taking a selfie. I took a couple, right? Because when you meet a celebrity, you got to take a couple too. You can't just take one because that one picture can get deleted and then that's it. I had to duplicate the photo because, this is my memories. So I told him like, hey, again, I'm a big fan of Breakfast Club. I tag you guys. I recently had to stop tagging because that can get kind of annoying on Instagram. But I used to tag them a lot when I'm posting stuff, when I'm mentioning them on the show, right? And I said, I tag you guys a lot. Breakfast Club all the way. You guys are awesome. I'm studying to become a unique MC a unique podcast host for you guys, for us. I'm studying from you guys. So you guys are my teachers. You're teaching me the game of podcasting and radio show hosting because I want to be in this business. I've been in this business for 7 years, but I want to go even harder in this business. And he says, thank you. Enjoy your trip to New York. And that was it. And that's all I wanted, because again, when you're meeting that celebrity, you do not want to overdo it. You don't want to come off as crazy. I was looking fly too. Like if I looked like a bum on the street, probably not would have been able to take a picture. But being that I looked so good, because of course I bought clothes for the trip, he was like, yeah, come on. Because he knows, hey, you look clean. And I had a mask on. I took the mask down so I could take the picture, but I had a mask on, keeping it safe. So very, very cool. Very, very cool to meet DJ Envy like that. It was very, very cool. And I got a picture. You guys can see it on my Instagram right now. It's Kennedy Lucas K.L.P. or K.L.P Entertainment's Instagram, and also Emory Radio 1, Emory Radio's Instagram as well. It's there. The trip, again, it was fantastic, T. Very, very fantastic. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. I know y'all haven't heard that before. Quick commercial break here. K.L.P Aftermath. We'll talk about the Oscars coming up next. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Of course, welcome back for sure. Getting things resetted here, getting it all resetted here on the podcast. Thank you guys. If you're listening, it's been 30 minutes, and you know, it's rare that we do an hour show, but we just had so much to talk about from New York, and now we're going to dabble into the Oscars. So we had to make this an hour episode. Let me know if you guys enjoy the hour episodes, if you want us to continue to do more of these shows for an hour, because I know each day we do 30 minutes, right? And I think a lot of you guys like the 30 minutes because it's short, simple, and quick to the point. But since we had New York and now we're getting ready to talk about the 94th Academy Awards, you know, this was just too big just to have 30 minutes. So we needed to buy an hour for us on our radio platforms. But of course, I want to talk about it here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Oscars. Enough about New York. New York, again, I love you. We will be back in New York City. I promise you guys, we're going to be back here. And I had my drink in hand because, you know, we talked about so much on today's episode. And this episode is going to be real good. So let's talk about it, T. Of course, if you guys don't know, the 94th Academy Awards was last night. As you guys know, we are a media company. We focus on making movies and TV shows. Me being a nominated director for quite a few film festivals out there, I would be behoved if I didn't watch the Oscars last night. So, of course, it was my duty to watch the Oscars. And let me tell y'all, in reference to the Breakfast Club, they talked about Will Smith and Chris Rock. We're going to get to that. Oh, you best believe we're going to talk about that. We definitely will talk about Chris Rock and Will Smith and what happened last night. But we got to get to the important stuff first. Of course, now the 94th Academy Awards, of course, they had a lot of movies that I've seen this past year. And of course, I'm going to give you guys the winners. And you can also just Google it if you want to just read about it. But some of the movies that I'm going to check out, of course, first off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Best Picture went out to the movie of Coda. That is an Apple TV Plus exclusive. They are the winners for the Best Picture. Very, very excited for sure, because that movie I haven't seen yet, right? But that is the movie that I will watch maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Of course, very, very excited for that for sure. The Best Picture. And then their nominations were for Best Picture was Nightmare Alley. Bradley Cooper was in that one. I heard that movie was pretty good. I think that movie's on HBO, so I'm actually going to check that movie out. Might check that one out tonight because there's just so many shows, T, and T knows about it. Stay tuned for tomorrow's podcast because we're talking about the last days of Bartholomew Gray, Samuel L. Jackson's show. We're going to talk about that show tomorrow. But Nightmare Alley, I heard that was pretty good. Of course, Don't Look Up was nominated for Best Picture. Didn't win because, of course, Coda won, but I did see that one on Netflix. And we wrote about it on the Vox Times. If you guys don't know, the Vox Times is our newest article for our new publishing company. Of course, the publishing company that publishes Element Magazine, that is our magazine line, brings the Vox Time. Kennedy Lucas Publishings is now available on issue.com. Of course, issue.com/KLP, issue.com/Kennedy Lucas Publishing LLC. You guys can see about it. Dune was also nominated for the Best Picture. Of course, I did see Dune on HBO. I can't wait for the second one because they're going to go more in depth into the second one, like the book has. So, very, very good. Drive My Car. Don't know that movie, but I'll be sure to check it out. Belfast, LaRusse Pizza, The Power of the Dog. Now, that's a movie that I think Benedict Cumberbatch is in, and I've seen trailers, but I just haven't really, West Side Story was nominated and King Richard was nominated. So the winner of the Best Picture was Coda. Of course, the Best Actor goes out to Will Smith, King Richard. Of course, we're going to talk about Will Smith in a minute because Will did something, I don't know, unthinkable that he can do. He won finally his first Oscar for the movie King Richard. I did see that movie on HBO when it first came out last year, and that movie was fantastic. So it was a very, very good movie. I recommend if you do have an HBO, find King Richard. That's a movie you got to see. Of course, Andrew Garfield is one a nomination. It was really good. He got nominated from Tick Tick Boom, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Javier Bardem becoming the Ricardos, and Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Of course, Will Smith was the winner of that. Of course, the Best Actress goes out to Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Of course, Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter. Kristen Stewart in the movie Spencer. Nicole Kidman in Becoming the Ricardos. And Penelope Cruz. I didn't even know Penelope Cruz was in the latest movie. Madras Pareles. And of course, Jessica Chastain won that for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Of course, the Best Original Song goes out to Billie Eilish. No Time to Die. It was very interesting that she won because Beyonce was nominated for Be Alive from the motion picture of King Richard. So she beat Beyonce in that. So that's very good. Very good for Billie Eilish. She's out there. She's doing her thing. So hey, she's doing her thing. Best Animated Feature, that went out to Encanto. That was the winner for the Best Animated Feature. Of course, they were going up against Luca, Flea, The Michelles versus the Machines, and Raya the Last Dragon. I did see Raya the Last Dragon. That movie was pretty good too. But Encanto, I will add to my list. I didn't see that movie yet, but I probably will see it now that it is a Academy Award winner. Best Director goes out to Jane Champion, The Power of the Dog. This is the category I like the most. Best Director, because I'm a director. So Best Director goes out to Jane Champion, The Power of the Dog. Haven't seen the movie, but now I most definitely will see this movie because of this director. Jane Champion made her career from this great movie, and now she's going to be on to direct so many great movies because now she has that name now. Kenneth, and then not to say that all these other directors aren't good, because Steven Spielberg was nominated Best Director for West Side Story. He's fantastic. So even if you're nominated, that's still a great thing. And let me take it from me. I'm not an Academy Award nominated director. I'm an independent nominated director that's been to film festivals. But that nomination, once you get nominated, it's up there. Jane Champion went against Kenneth Branagh, Ruseki Hamaguchi, Steven Spielberg, and of course Paul Thomas Anderson. Of course, international feature film goes out to Drive My Car. Haven't heard that movie before, but I probably will watch it now. This is the thing that I'm excited for the most too. Best Supporting Actress, that's went out to Ariana Du Bois in West Side Story. Of course, she is fantastic. She, of course, and it's been said in articles, the all open queer female Latina. A lot of people kept saying, and I think DJ Envy might have said this on Breakfast Club today, black. She's not black, she's Latina. No, DJ Envy said a woman of color. And I don't know if this goes into the realm of Latinas or not. I don't know. But all Latina, not woman of color, she's Latina. So it's a difference there. Again, I'm not, but I'm just saying, color. She's Latina. Kristen Dunst, don't know who she is, but I'm sure she's fantastic. Jessica Biel and Judi Dench was actually nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I didn't even know Judi Dench was still acting. Like, yeah, she's fantastic. So these things are really surprising. And Juana Ellis, King Richard, also nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And Best Supporting Actor goes out to Troy Kotsur in the movie Coda. Again, I do need to watch this movie, T, because this movie seems like a very good. I mean, it won some awards, and it's Apple TV. And let me tell you, Apple TV, they do a lot of great things right now. So I recommend watch Coda. If you have an Apple TV, go for it. Cody Smith McPhee, The Power of Dog, was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. J.K. Simmons, again, I didn't even know he was in this movie. Becoming the Ricardos, of course. Clarion Hines from Belfast, and Jesse Plemons from The Power of Dog. Of course, Best Documentary Feature goes out to Questlove. He is the director of Summer of Soul. And this is a topic I like the best because I'm starting to dabble into the documentary scene. You guys are going to see it later on this year. Street Style, my vision from New York. We filmed a documentary, so I'm excited to do this. And maybe watching this movie will give me some inspirations as we produce our documentary, The Style of New York. As we're scrolling through some stuff here because we're not going to talk about all of it. Of course, Dune won Best Visual Effects, which is good. Of course, Dune was going against Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings, pretty good. And Spider-Man No Way Home. Of course, Spider-Man No Way Home, if they would have won Best Visuals, I would have been happy about that too. The Best Makeup Hairstylist Best Makeup and Hairstyling went out to The Eyes of Tammy Faye. They were going against Dune, The House of Gucci, Cruella, and Coming to America. Adaptive Screenplay went out to Coda. As we're scrolling through here, ladies and gentlemen, the Best Original Score goes out to Dune by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, let me tell you about Hans Zimmer real quick. Hans Zimmer, this is your 14th Oscar win because of your music. Like, your music is just that good. Hans Zimmer, if you guys don't know, he is the OG when it comes to creating original scores for movies. I would love to work with Hans Zimmer with one of my films one day. We work with a lot of independent score composers here in Atlanta to make our music for our movies. But if you ever had a chance to work with Hans Zimmer, this man is rich by just making music, and he makes beautiful music. He's made countless upon countless scores for one of the biggest movies that I can never imagine. So Hans Zimmer, congratulations on what seems like your 14th Oscar Academy Award winning for your music. Encanto, Don't Look Up, The Power of the Dog, and Morales Parallelus. I probably butchered that. Best Animated Short went to The Windshield Wiper. Pretty good. Best Short Documentary, The Queen of Basketball. Got to check that one out. Best Cinematography goes out to Greg Fraser from the movie of Doom. I like this category too because even though we have cinematographers that work for K.L.P Entertainment, I'm actually a cinematographer myself, and this category really hits home for me too. So as I watch these movies and these Academy Award winning movies, I learn from these things, so that way, as we make our movies, things will get better. Of course, Best Costume Design goes to Cruella, Jenny Bevan. Best Film Editing goes out to Joe Walker from the movie Doom. Again, another category I like. If you guys don't know, cinematography, videography. I'm also an editor too, obviously. Even though sometimes we have editors to work on our films, sometimes I'm editing the films. So Doom wins out again. Doom wins another one for Best Production Design, which is true because Doom's production design was fantastic. Hands down. They've worked really hard on this movie, and I think part 2 of Dune will be very, very fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Dune wins again for Best Sound. Again, Dune has some best sounds in their movies. So Dune wins about six Academy Awards. Now, fantastic to all the nominations and all the winners. Congratulations. Now, before we close out today's show, we need to talk about, as I check my record here, let's talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock, because that seems to be the topic of conversation today. The Breakfast Club talked about it. Let me just get my drink sipped in here. We got to talk about this one. See, we before we close out today's show, we got to talk about this one. Of course, this happened last night at the Oscars, and let me just say this. Let me say this one part to you before we go dabble into it, because Uncle Charlotte, that's what he calls himself on the Breakfast Club. Again, I reference them a lot. I'm sorry, Breakfast Club. If you're somebody listening to the show, I'm sorry. I just love you guys. You guys are good. But Uncle Charlemagne the God, said it the best. A lot of people kept saying that, oh, we don't have to worry about the Oscars being an all-white program now because now we have this. I think that is the most backwards things that people can say, and I agree with Charlemagne because this is his words, and this is gonna be kind of my words too. You're insinuating ignorance and violence to our Black culture, and that's not right. And I agree with Charlemagne the God because he said it on the Breakfast Club this morning, and I agree with him. Stop insinuating ignorance and violence to Black culture. It's completely wrong. We should start insinuating that, of course, now that Will Smith won his Oscar for Best Actor, this is a Black man, Black culture, and telling folks you can be Black and also win an Oscar. Questlove, Best Documentary. He's Black. He won his Oscar last night. He's insinuating the Black culture can succeed in the film industry and get Academy Award winnings. Not what they did last night. Now, I get it. You know, you have Chris Rock as a presenter, and Chris Rock was presenting Questlove's award winning for The Summer of Soul. But before he presented, Chris Rock, right? We got Chris Rock to present. You guys know Chris Rock is going to say whatever it is on his mind because he's a comedian. He's a comedian. He's going to say whatever he needs to say to lighten the show. He's a comedian. That's his job. That's what he does. But, and then I'm going to go kind of back and forth with this because I'm not on either side, right? This is not a side to this. This is just me articulating what I think happened. Of course, this top story is Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars. That's the headlines of today's show. That's the headlines of what happened. Very, very exciting that, you know, there's Black culture that performs the winnings and stuff, but this is kind of disgusting in a way. And let me tell you what I mean. So right before Chris was presenting the winner for Best Documentary, you know, Chris looks at Will, cracks a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. We guys know Jada Pinkett Smith, phenomenal actress. I love her show on the Red Table Talk. Again, she's one of my teachers in trying to perform a show this is not really a podcast. Red Table Talk is not really a podcast, but it is a internet type show, Facebook, where you know she's an MC at the end of it. So she is suffering from a disease, and I keep blanking on the name of this disease, but it probably will come back to me. But it's a disease where somebody could suffer a huge amount of hair loss. So Jada Pinkett Smith shaves her head, right? Because she has this disease, and I'm blanking on the name, and we said it today at lunch, and I forgot the name of the disease already. But it's a very serious condition that, you know, it's you experience a lot of hair loss. So Jada Pinkett Smith says, okay, yeah, let's cut it all off because it's just going to get annoying. Let me just cut it all off. I got this disease. Let's just cut it, right? Chris Rock making jokes. You seeing Will, they laughing, they kicking it up. But then Chris Rock says something about Jada Pinkett Smith, about G.I. Jane. If you guys don't know, that is a Demi Moore movie that in her character, G.I. Jane, she had to cut all her hair off, right? So it was a joke because Chris Rock is a comedian, but this was a joke that probably went too far because, you know, that's the man's wife. That's Will Smith's wife that you're cracking a joke at. So he says the joke. He says, you know, hey, Jada, I love you. I can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. And he starts laughing. It's a joke. Everyone's laughing. It's kicking in. It was a joke. My brother said, hey, I thought this was really going to happen. Is she really going to make G.I. Jane 2? Because that movie was fantastic, T. I've seen it 3 times. It was very good. Now, this is not a joke for Jada Pinkett Smith having this disease, but if she had the leading role in G.I. Jane 2, I think it would be pretty good. Honestly, I think she will make a killing off this movie. I just think that. It's just my opinion. It's not me harping on a man's wife. I think she would be fantastic if this was true. I want it to be true. Neither here or there, you know, they're cracking jokes, and Jada's looking like, okay, Chris, you know you're wrong for that. I ain't messing around with that. Will kind of chuckles, and at that moment, like, okay, well, he's chuckling. He think it's funny. It's not, you know, it's all cool. But a lot of people say this, and in Breakfast Club, DJ Envy in Charlotte, they said this, and I kind of agree, because maybe he thought it was funny, but then when he looked at Jada and saw that Jada wasn't happy about what he just said, the comment he just made on national TV, he wasn't rocking with that. And that I agree. I agree what Will does next. I understand how that can happen, because simply, if you have, and I don't have a girlfriend yet, but if some dude talks bad about my girlfriend, then yeah, I'm going to defend my girlfriend, let alone my wife in maybe 10 years, maybe when I get married 10 years from now. If someone's talking bad about my wife, yeah, I'm going to defend my wife, right? That's just what you do, right? So I get that. So Will Smith goes up. Chris Rock's kicking, he's laughing, he kick in, but then he sees Will Smith come on stage. He's like, oh, here come Richard. You know, he's like, oh, it was that moment he knew he probably messed up. So Will Smith walks casually, and Chris Rock is just laughing, comes up, bam, right in the face, right in the kisser, right on national television, live. And Will walks away, and Chris, he's kind of shocked about what happened, but I applaud Chris, because usually when there's something like that happens, you wanting to fight somebody, right? You're wanting to fight whoever hits you. Like, if you gonna hit me in the face, I'm gonna hit you right back. That's just what it is. But Chris Rock kept his composure. You know, he said, hey, I just got smacked by Will Smith. He cussed, but we're not going to relate the cuss words. Of course, Will, sits down and say, hey, stop talking about my wife. Again, he didn't say it like that. He said some, he said some cuss words that I can't relate on the show, on this show, but he says some choice words, and, you know, they cut the commercial and they cut the audio. And I agree with Charlamagne the God too, because at first I thought maybe this is something that's scripted. Maybe that's something that is just planned. Maybe it's just written in the script. No, when you're cutting a mic, you're cutting to commercial quick. That wasn't scripted. That was live. That was up there. It was something else. So I applaud Chris for keeping the composure. Do I think he was just telling a joke? Yes, but you don't joke about a man's wife when they have a serious condition. So it goes both ways with this. Honestly, I hate to see two brothers fight on national TV, because it wasn't the time for that. It was the time to celebrate Black culture, finally getting, and we've been fighting for years to get a seat at the table when it comes to the film industry. And you have two brothers, you know, come on national TV, and that happens. And now they're insinuating violence and ignorance as Black culture at the Oscars. That's where I draw the line. That's where I kind of get upset about, is because a lot of people don't know you're insinuating this kind of stuff with this behavior at the Oscars. And it's not just trying to look right in front of, and this is quotations, y'all. This is the quotations of what I'm about to say. Not trying to look good in front of the white folks, but this wasn't the time for that. If Chris wanted to pop that joke, maybe I would have cued it with Will before the show and say, hey, I'm going to crack a joke about your wife. Are you cool with that? Yes or no? And then Chris Rock probably would have made a different material. But, you know, it's both ways to it. A lot of people saying this was scripted. I don't think this is scripted. I think that this was not this scripted thing. I think Will Smith is going through some stuff too. So when you're bringing a lot of personal emotions not aside, and it's building up, and your blood is boiling, your heart is boiling a little bit, you do some crazy things. Because trust me, guys, I've done some crazy stuff in my daytime where I almost lost it. You know, things like that can get you up there. So it's just one of those things that it does happen. It's just one of those things that it does happen. Will this be the topic of conversation for the next couple of days? Yes. When we do the 2022 wrap up, we're going to revisit this conversation. We're going to revisit, because this is a hot trending thing that happened in 2022. So this is not going anywhere. And immediately when it happened, and the next morning I got up in the house, right? I'm texting UT, you know about it. You know, a lot of people making memes about it. A lot of people making songs about it. A lot of people already don't got to work on it. So it's crazy how fast things can trend and people can start making memes and start making a whole bunch of stuff. I saw one with gas prices, which I saw that coming a long way. You know, the trend was there, y'all. So it's just one of those things that happen. And, you know, I honestly think maybe I just wish it wouldn't happen. I wish it would have just been something. And of course, a whole bunch of celebrities had a lot to say. Of course, P. Diddy had a whole lot to say about the incident. He's not wrong, right? What he said on Instagram is not wrong. Stephen, I forgot Stephen's last name, but Stephen from ESPN, he had a lot to say. Of course, Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, and Tyler Perry had to calm Will Smith down after all of that. So it was kind of a mess, and I really wish this didn't happen, but it did. So congratulations to Will Smith for winning Best Actor. I'm glad Chris Rock kept his composure. Yeah, I'm sad that it happened, but he kept commentating over it every after the slap. So Chris Rock was fine. News reports say on Front Page News that Chris Rock did not file any police report. That's not necessary. You both are famous. You're both up there, couple $1 million worth. So that's not necessary. I'm glad that Chris Rock didn't press charges. I got people talking about him. I'm guessing he's getting ready to go on tour too with Kevin Hart. So maybe there's going to be some things that he's got his material that he's going to use for his comedy tour with Kevin Hart coming up soon. And I think they are coming to State Farm here in Atlanta. So again, it's material that he got now. Again, it's just sad that two famous brothers that both create something fantastic. Because let me tell you, Bel Air, if y'all haven't seen Bel Air yet on Peacock, y'all need to see that movie, that show. That show's pretty good. It's just unfortunate. It happens. It's one of those things that is very, very unfortunate. So comment below. Let me know what you think about the incident. Of course, Will Smith slapping the living mess out of Chris Rock at the 94th Academy Awards, the Oscars last night. I laughed. I thought it was funny though. I mean, the slap was funny. I mean, national TV, I laughed a whole lot because I thought it was funny, but it's sad that it came to that. And it's sad that, it came to that. Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, don't mess with somebody's wife. Again, don't talk about nobody's wife. Please do not talk about nobody's wife, significant other, or girlfriend. This is a PSA from Kennedy Lucas Patterson. Do not talk about my wife. Just saying. Just saying, T, you don't you talk about my girl, T. I'll slap you on the show. I promise you I will. Just kidding, y'all. No, but seriously, it's, watch it. You might have a kick out of it, y'all. So that's gonna wrap it up here on today's show. Of course, K.L.P Aftermath with yours, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're listening or watching the show on Spotify video, YouTube, and Daily Motion, and especially those two on K.L.P Entertainment. And if you're also listening to the audio version of the podcast, thank you. Share it with your friends, letting you guys know that we were live for about an hour on today's episode. And it's good to be back home in the great ATL. Stay tuned for tomorrow's show because we have so much to talk about on tomorrow's episode. So you don't want to miss it right here on Swanky 93 and Emory 94.6. So that's going to wrap it up here at K.L.P Aftermath with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. Until then, stay safe, stay swanky.
It's the K.L.P Aftermath.
You're locked into the man. Check this out.
Here we go.
It's time. You're live and in the mix with ATL's own
K.L.P Kennedy Lucas.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Hi, this is Rihanna.
Hey, what's up? This is Ludacris.
What's up, y'all? This is Nicki Minaj.
You're rocking with the best. It's the #1 station blazing the airwaves.
Right here, so keep it locked.
What's up, y'all? This is Beyonce, and you listening to my station.
Powered by the Core 94.